Hey everyone, welcome back to New Kevin's Creations here on Geektopia Island. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Cardwell.
And today we're going to be going over the Desert Fire deck that we showed this last week at Deck Brawls.
Yep.
And just all the glory that Isis can bring to the table. She's got a lot going for her. It's just a silly little red deck that does a whole lot of work. So, without further ado, let's delve into Isis and see what she does.
Oh yeah.
So, she's a Divinity 10 ruler from the new set.
As always.
Yep. She Judgments for 4, 2 red and 2.
As always.
It's pretty neat, pretty normal. And then Energize for a red. As always.
Oh, as always, yes.
And then when she Judgments, she turns into a 14-8. Weird stats.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's okay, I guess. She still has the Divinity 10 and she has First Strike. That's her base ability.
Yeah.
And then she can pay a red to gain Precision.
Which is good.
She can pay 2 red to gain Barrier.
Which is awesome.
Or you can pay 1 red to shoot 200 damage to target J/Resonator.
Which can, it might be able to come into play.
Yeah, it'll help you a little bit because you can shoot off the little dudes, or if you need to get the extra damage to kill their J, you're just like, cool, shoot that thing.
Yeah, especially since she has First Strike, and if they block with a bigger dude, you're like, well, ping that dude until, she can kill it.
Until she can just kill it on the attack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is really nice in that ability of just being able to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all remember Athena if you played against her. Thing was stupid.
Yeah.
Alright, so her Divinity runes that we're playing is... We have 11 of them in the deck, the sideboard deck, but you only can play up to 10. So essentially we're only going to play 4. It's pretty much where it is, but we wanted to go for more having the extra value, like the other card if you need it. So we got Soldier Ambush as the first one. It's 2 red, quick cast, Divinity 3. Resonators you control get +4/+4 until the end of turn.
Seems super solid.
Yeah, pretty good solid 3 Divinity rune because it's a blanket effect, so it just stays in play. So your dudes that come and play after it still get +4/+4, which is silly good.
Especially with most of them having haste.
Yeah. Yeah, so it helps out a lot in that regard. And then we have Explosion. It's 1 red quick cast, it's Divinity 2, and it deals 700 damage to target attacking or blocking Resonator.
Really good.
Yeah, I mean
it
just saves you from a lot of things.
And it also destroys with the blocking aspect, so they block it, you kill the creature, okay, damage goes through.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You just you force damage when you need it to.
Yeah.
It makes your opponent's blocking a lot more difficult for them to figure out.
Constantly.
The next 2 we kind of go together. But there's a Sandstorm, which is 1 red, Divinity 1, and it's a chant rune. You may pay 1 red less to play this card from a rune area.
So
Free. And it deals 200 damage to each Resonator your opponent controls. It's pretty simple, straightforward, just boom, free 2 damage.
Yep.
And the one after that is a Giant Sandstorm. It is 4 red, and it deals 800 damage to each Resonator your opponent controls for Divinity 3. So essentially you pay 4 mana, you play them both to do 10 damage to their board.
Yes.
It's pretty good. It's going to clear almost everything off the board minus like the 5-drop dudes. But that's okay because you kill everything else that you need to.
Exactly. And it's only on their side, so you just do that, you swing in and hopefully you're good.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes it so strong is you're just like clear your board, I'm going to swing in all my dudes.
Yeah.
So fantastic. And the final Divinity card is her Master Rune, Whirlwind Conflagration. It is 5 mana for Divinity 2. It can only be played with Isis. And
it's worth it.
It can shoot 6 different targets for different amounts of damage.
Kevin, are you sure about that? I thought it was you can do 6 choices to 1 target.
No, I'm sure it hits different targets. So it does 6 different ones.
Now we know.
The first one is 2, then it goes to 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So you have to have 6 different, up to 6 targets. You don't have to have all 6, but it goes up in that increment. So if you only go to 4, you're only going to do 2, 4, 6, 8 damage.
Yeah.
So the best you can do is do up to 12. With this card, don't be afraid to shoot yourself, because that is an option still. You can be like, I'll take 2, my dude can take 4, your dude takes 6, your dude takes 8, your dude takes 12.
And you take 12 to the face.
Yeah, or 10, 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Card is just your, it's pretty much this deck's let's reset.
Yes.
You have too many things, I can't deal with them all, and you just get there with reset.
I used it twice in the Brawl, and it was very useful both times. Like you said, it's like, oh no, crap, go.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm dying. Just clear the board. Just burn everything. And that's pretty much what it is. You just burn the whole world and you're like, hey, let's see what happens. So definitely use that Master Rune if you can. It's just really, really good for 5 mana. Sure, it taps you out, but you literally get to clear the board.
It's worth it. It's completely worth it.
Yeah. With that, we'll go into the creatures and what makes the deck the deck.
All right, and I'll go. This is your boy.
Yeah.
You've played it plenty of times. You go and talk about it.
So the first creature we have is Majin Dark Elf.
Yep.
It's 1 red for a swiftness 6/6, and you can only play it if you've been dealt damage this turn. So that's its drawback, but it's a 6/6 swiftness. I'll take that all day for 1 mana.
And of course, we'll go through the stones, and the next dude actually helps with that as well. So one of the new cards, of course, Black Spot Tiger, 1 red, 4/4. You can pay 0. This card gains flying, and it deals 200 damage to you. So therefore, bam, you can play Majin Dark Elf. Say if you go second, you have the Energize, stone comes in, play Black Saber, give it flying, whatever, then boom, swing for 6.
Yeah, it's
like,
silly.
Simple as that.
I was so terrified of him doing that to me on the Brawl. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but I was just like, if he goes second and he's just like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
It's not good for me.
And of course, before comments happened, yes, I could have done it. I just didn't see it until after I passed turn priority, so it was very bad.
So the next guy that we have that goes with the Black Spot Tiger is Shin Gong Bao, the Taoist of Kunlun. He's one of the new creatures of the set. He's 2 red for a 6/6. Pretty basic, but he's a lot better than you think.
Oh yeah.
So he essentially says you may pay 1 less for cards in your hand named Heaven Thundering Strike.
We'll get to that one.
He gets +1/+1 in swiftness as long as you control a beast.
Which Black Spot Tiger is.
Yeah. And then you can awaken him for 1, and he comes into play and searches for Black Spot Tiger and puts it into your hand. Or puts it into the field, I'm sorry. Yeah. And then you can pay Awakening 1 and search for a card called Heaven Thundering Strike and put that in your hand. So essentially you pay 4 mana and you get 3 cards.
Yeah, which is good.
It's so strong and just just what it can do. And he becomes a 7/7, and that's a lot more than you think. Because every time he played that thing, I was just like, that's a 7/7. I can't.
With swiftness, like if it was turn 1, Black Spot, turn 2, him, that's what, 11 damage immediately?
Yeah, it's that 1 more toughness and power just gives him so much more that you don't really pay attention to until you're having to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it was going to be a big issue, but that got him out of a lot of like easy danger zones for me. I was just like, I can't answer that dude easily. But we'll go ahead and do his other spell that he goes and gets real quick.
Yep. Just
because that's what goes with him. And it's Heaven Thundering Strike. It is a chant, quick cast for a red and 1. But if he's in play, it costs 1 red. So forth, so on. This card cannot be canceled if you control a Shin Gong Bao.
So that's good.
And then it deals 600 damage to target J/Resonator. If this card is awakened, it deals 600 to a second target J Resonator. So it has Awakening of a red and 2. So essentially, if you play it, you can pay it for 4. Only with Shin being in play. Otherwise, it costs 5 for Awakening. And you can shoot 2 dudes for 6. And it does have to be 2 separate targets, because that's how the card states. The first hit's for 6, and then you have to target up to a second one. And if it's the pesky word second that makes it hit a different dude.
Yeah. It's sad that you can't hit the same dude, but you know, we've already talked about this personally. Like, it's still good to be able to either knock 2 dudes that are big down so you can swing in for free, because they're not going to trade off their big dudes. Or it also helps with, you know, even the 2 freeze storm, like the Sandstorm.
Yeah. Y'all got to see him do that to me a couple times. And it's quick cast, so that's what makes it strong, because you can do it like combat math. It just makes blocking and attacking so much worse. Yeah. If you do it as quick cast, you're like, that dude takes 6, that dude takes 6, now my dudes get through. So it's just, it gives you that extra little bump.
It will definitely take some practice using with him to see, like, when do you need to use it at the right moment.
Yeah. But that's him in a nutshell and all of his little tricks.
Oh yeah. Next we'll go to one of the cutest favorites here. Piggy, Hoelle's Great Hero Pig. 1 red, 1 colorless, 5/7. Of course, you've seen this with a bunch of carrot decks everywhere, but when this card enters the field, your J-Roller gets 2 strength counters. You can remove 2 strength counters to either give a Resonator flying or swiftness. Simple as that.
Dude's just good.
Yeah.
He's a great 2-drop. He can give spot swiftness or spot flying. and making a thing unblockable with flying is so good.
Yeah.
It's just strong.
Or even itself, you're immediately just like, okay, turn 2 is swing for 5.
Yeah, it's just great.
Yeah.
Next dude we got is the Mad Boar of Hoelle. This dude's not really seen play very much. He probably will now that mono red is like now that we're shifting to single color things, people have to play cards they don't normally play. And this dude could actually do that because he is a 2-drop 7/3 with swiftness, bloodlust, and first strike.
Yes.
That's pretty strong for a 2-drop. Because I mean, it swings in the turn it plays, and then it can kill almost everything. Because it's 7 damage, so you're just like, swing, that dude dies.
And first strike, yeah. You just immediately swing to their face. If they want to block, then good for them.
Yeah.
And it's a beast, so therefore with Shin here, it works.
Yeah. His only real drawback is bloodlust, that he has to attack. Again, if y'all watch the Brawl, y'all see how that happened. I knew he had to attack, so I had a bigger dude to make sure I could kill his little boar.
Yeah.
But that's his only drawback, and it's not really that big of a drawback because you're playing mono red. You're gonna be always attacking.
Always attacking and always have burn to kill him because first strike matters. Like that's it really helps. And of course, Ultra Dragon Shooting Star. It's a 3 red, 10/10 flying, which is beautiful stats.
Yeah.
It has barrier of blue and black. So a lot of just mono black. What is that guy? Sorry, the main dude, Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Yeah. With that. But whenever Resonator enters the field under your opponent's control without being played from the opponent's hand, it deals 2,000 damage to it. So it just obliterates it no matter what.
Yeah.
And then when this card is put in the graveyard from the field, discard a card at random. That's the only bad part about it, but a 10/10 for 3 is beautiful.
Dude is so strong. He does just so much for you. Like, he stops any kind of graveyard recursion. Like Lich, that dude is kind of stopped for a second if this dude is in play.
Brunhilde, get those angels out of here.
Yeah.
Or those Valkyries.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, you don't get as much value off of a Brunhilde unless you... Because, like, when he played this against me, I had to answer it to get any kind of value out of my cards. Because my deck's all about my graveyard and bringing dudes back. So, I mean, you just have to have the answers to that dude. It's rough, but it's what you got to do.
And with Piggy, you can give it haste immediately on turn 3 with that curve.
It's fantastic. And the last dude of the actual deck is Osiris.
Yep.
He is the new 3-drop. He's pretty awesome for what he does. So he's 3 mana for a 9/5. He comes into play, he gains swiftness unless your opponent discards a card. So, I mean, a lot of people don't like that because it gives your opponent the option to do that. But, I mean, 3 mana, you either make them discard a card for red to have a discard spell is pretty good.
Yeah.
Or you gain swiftness, great. And then if he dies or is put into a graveyard from the field, you can return him to the field by discarding 2 cards yourself. So cool, swing 9 with swiftness if they didn't pay it.
Yeah.
So he comes in, you gain swiftness if they don't discard a card. Let's say they block with a dude, he dies. He comes back because you discard your own 2 cards.
And then they get to do the choice again.
They have to make that choice again. And then he's untapped this other time, so you can swing again if they don't do that.
And 9 damage is quite a bit still. Like, it's just that good.
He's really strong in what he can do just because he does, for 3 mana, I'll take a 9/5 swiftness all day.
Right? And the only, of course, downside at, game 1 you're rushing in as fast as possible. If they are using Brunhilde or just any reanimate, you want to, of course, take him out for the sideboard second game. But first game, he's just swinging in.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if y'all, again, watching the Brawls, he played this against me on game 3, and I was like, cool, drop a Belial. I'll reanimate Belial next turn and not care.
Yeah, it was very sad.
But
very sad
it's just one of those, it's kind of a catch-22, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's good, but it has its downsides.
Alright, and now we'll go ahead and enter the spells here. Scalding Breath, 1 red and 1. Divinity, 2, but it doesn't matter because it's a chant rune. You may 2 more. You can pay 2 more if it is in your rune deck, but it's not. This card deals 700 damage to target player or J/Resonator. That's just good. I wish it had quick cast, but of course that's too powerful after that.
Yeah, but for 2 mana that you can shoot a player or a J/Resonator, I'll take it.
Exactly.
Because I mean that means you're only playing till they're at 7. You don't have to go to 0. Then you're just like, oh, you're at 7, die. Or if you have multiples of them, multiples of 7.
Yeah, just 14 damage for 2 or 4. That's good, right?
I'll take that, yeah.
It's good. Now go ahead and tell us the benefits of this guy.
Alright, so the next card we got is Reunion of the Master
and
Pupil. It is 2 mana. It's a red and 1 for chant. Look at the top 5 of your deck. Put a red resonator or a fire resonator and a fire chant into your hand. And then put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order.
Yeah.
So for 2 mana, you get to dig 5 cards and put 2 of them in your hand. Because this whole deck is mono red. We only have black in the sideboard, and that's okay. Like, you don't really need it. But for 2 mana, you get almost any creature you want. It's so strong because it's like Faith in Darkness for black. You get to dig 5 cards, but you get 2 of them this time. Yeah. And it just draws you. It's red's draw engine. You
get a creature and then a spell that's going to kill their creature. Yeah. Evens it out.
So you get extra Heaven Thundering Strikes that if you have Shin Gong Bao in play, they're cheaper. Yeah. You get the Scalding Breath to just be like, shoot that thing. And if you have in the sideboard the other spells that come into play, you can get those. And it's so much value for 2 mana that you just, why not?
It really is, yeah.
In a mono red deck, it's really, really strong. Speaking of sideboard, we'll move to that real quick and see what's in there, and then we'll finish up with the stones. But sideboard, we have City of Mirage, Sandora. It's 2 mana, and it's when a J resonator you control is targeted by a chant spell or an ability your opponent controls. You may banish this card. You cancel that spell or ability.
Yeah, this edition is extremely annoying. I played against it too many times in the pre-release. It's gross.
It's so good. I mean, we've had it before, everyone. It's the little green edition that does the same thing. Its name is escaping me right now, but it's just good. Because you're just like, oh, you're going to try to target my thing? No. No. Yep. Just no.
And they're looming every time, so they have to plan around it.
Yeah. It forces their hand, and they have to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Next up is Burial Rites, and it is one of the newer cards. It is 1 red for a quick cast. Remove all Resonators in your opponent's graveyard from the game. If 5 or more are removed this way, search your deck for a card named Anubis, Administrator of the Hounds, reveal it, and put it in your hand. So it's mostly there to give red the graveyard removal. Yeah. Because you don't want Brunhild to reanimate creatures or Lich or any of the other the decks that do that. Yeah. Because they're going to be everywhere right now, and this card actually just stops it.
Especially with quick cast, right?
Yeah, quick cast, you're just like, remove all your things. And it gives you an added bonus of giving you a free creature. Well, not a free creature, but to your hand. Yeah. You get to go find a creature and put it in your hand. That creature is Anubis. She is 8 mana for a 15/15. Seems a bit much.
Now, if you watched our review, we totally dogged on this card for good reasons, but we also have a good reason why it's in the sideboard.
Yeah. So you may pay 1 less to play this card for each fire rune revealed from your rune area. If a card will be put into your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, removed from the game instead. That's it. And then it comes into play and it shoots for 1500 damage divided as you choose among any number of resonators. Yeah. I really wish that it could do J's, but this might be too good then. But like you said, it's mostly there for playing against like the Green Guild. Yeah. Guild the Conjurer. Because when they're like, cool, white leaf, discard it, you're like, great, that's removed from the game forever. Get out of here. You don't get that back. And it just she can be searched up, which is nice, and then she does cost only 5 if you have 3 runes revealed, which is pretty cool. And I mean, yeah, it's a board wiper essentially. Yeah. If you really need it to be.
Because with this deck you can rune really quickly. Like you can basically board wipe twice, and then with her you can possibly do it a 3rd time.
Yeah. She's good. She's not like the best card in the world, but in the sideboard she's pretty good for what she can do. Yeah. She just gives you an extra little options. In the moment at the board we have 3 Heavenly Fruit, because it's discard your hand, play any Resonators from your graveyard this turn.
And most of them cost basically 2 or less.
Yeah, almost. And if they die again, you remove them from the game instead. The card's just good because you're, like you said, everything's almost a 2-drop and almost everything has swiftness. So you're like, cool, Heavenly Fruit, play all my things. They all have swiftness. Yep. You're dying. That's why it's in the board. And then lastly, we have Life-Severing Blade. This card is so good.
It's just insanely good.
So, black and 2 for quick cast. It's a chant. If a Resonator you control is put into a graveyard from the field this turn, you may pay 2 less to play this. Destroy target Resonator. So essentially, you block with a 2/2. Great. My dude dies. Pay 1 black. Kill that thing. Yeah. Awesome. I'll take that all day because it's just 3 mana. Kill a dude. It's so strong.
Yeah, it's ridiculously strong.
It does what you need it to do when you need it to do it. Really.
And with that, how do we pay for these black cards, Kevin?
All right, so we do have 3 null magic stones in the stone deck.
Yep.
They add a black, they produce a red. You take 2 damage, which helps pay for Majin Dark Elf.
Yep.
And you can banish it if you have null and add a red and a black. Probably never gonna do that, but you can. Next up, we have 4 Dragon Ores, which is the strength counter land. It comes into play as a fire magic stone. It produces a red, and it comes into play. You get 2 strength counters on your J ruler.
Yep. Which
so it helps
Piggy.
fuel Piggy and do all the silly stuff with strength counters. And then lastly, we have 3 magic stones of dueling, which is Isis's stone from the new set. And it's essentially, it counts as a fire stone. It adds a red, or you can add 2 red, and that 2 red can only be spent on J ruler's abilities.
Yeah.
So pretty much it's on the, so when you have Isis flipped, it's to help use her abilities for free.
So for 1 stone, you can give her barrier, which is amazing. Or if you have multiple, then that's multiple damage. Say you have 2 of them, that's 4 activations of damage. So that's 800 damage to a creature.
Yeah,
just
you can just
like that.
shoot off whatever you need. If they're playing Isis, you're like, cool, shoot off your Isis if they don't have red to open.
Yeah.
It just, there's so much utility in that stone for this deck. It's definitely worth trying, guys. If y'all want to see the deck list will be down below. Go and check it out. If you haven't checked out the video of this deck in action, go watch our Brawl. We played it last week.
It was very fun.
Yeah, thank y'all for joining us here at Geektopia Island. Hope y'all have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.
Alright guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also hit the bell that gets you notifications on all of our content. Also, if you need the latest deck tech, it's going to be to the right. And if you need the latest gameplay videos, it's going to be down below.